Welcome to the underbelly of fashion, where we dig deeper than the surface. We're exploring what's raw, untold, and what's beyond the mainstream. First, who the fuck is Iggy Pop? And what does a wild, shirtless rock star have in common with a mysterious Belgian designer? So I really need you guys to stay tuned, because today we are diving into two worlds of absolute rebels who reshape fashion, art, culture in their own unapologetic ways. Iggy Pop, the godfather of punk, wasn't just a musician, but a living, breathing performance. Shirtless, chaotic, and completely untamed, Iggy redefined what it meant to be a rock star. With the Stooges, he laid that foundation for punk rock, raw, unpolished, full of anarchy. He wasn't interested in glamorizing himself. He was interested in being real, even if that meant stripping himself down literally and metaphorically. Now, his aesthetic itself was about rebellion before anyone even had the guts to even begin to think about it. Now, Iggy wasn't just trying to look like a rock star. He was. His iconic leather jackets, skin-tight jeans, his raw and shirtless looks weren't about fashion trends. It was simply just the attitude. His look did come with a shock factor. It provoked, most definitely did challenge expectations. Now, while others were figuring out how to make rock look chic, Iggy most definitely was embodying something primal, something untamed. Now, we can most definitely take a look at his leather jackets. Most definitely weathered, unworn, but they weren't about perfection. They were a statement of rebellion. And those skin-tight jeans, they weren't just about fashion. They were the embodiment of confidence, sensuality, allowing him to perform with unrestricted freedom. He wasn't afraid to tear away the layers of glamour and just be raw himself. But perhaps the most iconic part of Iggy's style was his shirtless look. And it wasn't about trying to be sexy or polished. It was most definitely about the vulnerability and the energy and the passion that came with it. Iggy didn't just perform. He bared his whole soul into the audience, and every inch of his body became literally a part of this wild, untamed performance. We even have his swim briefs, which are often paired with a leather jacket. Now, this most definitely did show how Iggy wasn't bound by the conventional. He wasn't concerned about looking cool. He was concerned with feeling the music and embodying his own untamed spirit. Then we have Margiela, the Belgian designer who refused to be a celebrity. Now, while the fashion world was obsessed with the over-polished, the idealized aesthetics, Margiela was most definitely in the background tearing them apart. He found beauty in the imperfection. Margiela studied at the Royal Academy of Fine Arts in Antwerp. Now, this is the same school that produced the Antwerp Six, a group of avant-garde fashion designers who disrupted the 80s. Now, I do want to say as well, Margiela also was an outlier even amongst them. He did admire Japanese deconstructionists like Rei, Kurokobo, Yohji Yamamoto. And these were designers who challenged Western ideas, the structure, the fit. But where they explored fluidity, Margiela most definitely did take things further, embracing rawness, exposing seams, transforming discarded garments into couture. Before launching his own label, Margiela most definitely did work under Jean-Paul Gaultier. This was from 1984 to 1987. Now, this was most definitely a pivotal moment for him. Gaultier was known for being rebellious, pushing boundaries with his designs, and he became a key mentor for Margiela. Working under Gaultier, taught him how to challenge fashion, but with a sharp understanding of construction and tailoring. Now, Gaultier was also one of the few who established designers who encouraged experimentation. And that gave Margiela the confidence to embrace his own radical vision that he did have for Margiela. Fascinating, but perhaps the most fascinating contrast came when Margiela was appointed creative director at Hermes. Now, this was from 1997 all the way up to 2003, right after Jean-Paul Gaultier. It wasn't unexpected. Margiela, the ultimate deconstructionist, taking over a house known for timeless luxury and precision. But rather than dismantling Hermes, he brought an entirely new perspective. He focused on stripping away unnecessary embellishments and emphasizing the quality of the craftsmanship. No logos, no gimmicks, just perfection and construction by the whisper of a soft cashmere, liquid silks, precision cut leather. His silhouettes were effortless yet architectural, designed to be lived in, not just admired. Now, also there were muted tones of beige, black, deep browns. He most definitely let the craftsmanship in this time period at Hermes speak louder than the decoration of logos. His work at Hermes was proof that the rebellion didn't have to be loud. Sometimes it was more so about restraint. Now, Margiela's philosophy was super simple, honestly. Fashion didn't need to be pristine to be valuable. It didn't need to be perfect to be valuable. He was fascinated by the passage of time. How clothes aged, how they wore down, how they carried memories. Margiela wasn't just about rejecting fashion's obsession with luxury. He was questioning the entire system. His sense of mysteriousness never was about just being mysterious. Him never appearing in interviews or taking a bow at the end of the show. It was most definitely a statement within itself. In a world where designers are becoming celebrities, he wanted to focus on his work entirely, not the person behind it. And just like Iggy Pop, he stripped things down to their essence. Personally, you can see some parts of Iggy's style that inspired Margiela, like his shredded, worn fabrics, the rebellious attitudes towards traditional beauty and fashion. They both push boundaries, blending grunge with elegance in a way that made Raw look something to aspire to. Now, Margiela, and especially in his early years, mirrored the essence of Iggy's 70s aesthetic. The oversized deconstruction of the silhouettes in Margiela's work echoes Iggy's own disregard for conventional fashion in favor of something more visceral and real. I have an example here from the 1998 duvet comforter coat. It's reminiscent of the image of Iggy Pop wrapped up in a similar way, honestly. I'm not even dragging it. During his most iconic 70s photo shoot, the 1997 collection featured handmade wigs, which bear a striking resemblance of Iggy's iconic platinum blonde hair from the 1970s. Now, this was another, yet subtle, nod to Iggy's influence, of course. Both their rebellious approach to beauty, style, identity mirror the power of individual expression. Now, in the years of his early collections, Margiela didn't create clothes. It was most definitely art, You can tell that from the runway shows, the performance, the garments, everything tied into drawing this rawness and this energy. Even very similar in comparing to Iggy's own 70s moment to his craft, which also crafted his own vision of rebellion in the 70s. Now in 1999, during the Spring Summer show in Paris, Margiela himself did wear an Iggy Pop t-shirt. Now this was presenting a collection featured with the children walking on the runway amongst other adult models, of course, in that show. This was a moment that was not planned, but it was the perfect encapsulation of Margiela's philosophy, rejecting the traditional, embracing the raw and the real. The presence of children symbolized and embodied the innocence and the authenticity that mirrored even Iggy's own unfiltered energy on stage. Now, Margiela's choice of attire wasn't just a fan tribute. It was a statement, it was intentional, reinforcing the connection between his deconstructed fashion and Iggy Pop's stripped down rock aesthetic. So, what do we take from Iggy and Margiela? That imperfection is powerful. Iggy's aesthetic wasn't crafted for the runway, but somehow, some way, it ended up there because it represented such rawness. Margiela was never about chasing trends. He was about rejecting the system, redefining beauty. So what I have for you is, in your own style, embrace imperfection, deconstruct what you know, and make your look an extension of your truth, your own story. Iggy and Margiela proved that fashion is more than clothes. It's an attitude, it's a way of living. So if you're ready to embrace your own rebellion and see the beauty and imperfection, hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments how you're taking inspiration from these two legends. I need you guys to stay raw, stay real, and I'll see you guys next time.